So this video goes right along with the problems I just finished doing in my last video. It's going to be one extra thing that I add on, and it's the concept of a restriction or an excluded value for x. This pops up a lot when you have problems with fractions, because in math, the main idea in this short video here is that you aren't allowed to divide by zero. You can't divide by zero. So, I've got these expressions here, and x could be any number. I don't really know what x is, but it would be really bad if x was a number that I plugged in that made me divide by zero on the bottom of my fraction. So the restrictions are like a little add-on to your answer. I already got my awesome answer right here. But then what I do is I look at all my variables in the bottom of the fraction of the whole problem, and I make sure I don't accidentally divide by zero. Well, in this first problem here, if x was the number 0, 0 to the 8th is 0, times 3 is still 0. So I'd have 2 divided by 0, which would be a bad thing. So what I have to do on this problem, next to my answer, is I do like a comma, x can't equal 0. If x is a 0, I would get an illegal answer. I'd have 2 over 0. So that is called a restriction or an excluded value. You're basically outlawing a bad number for x. If you go on to the second problem here, again, I have to look everywhere I see variables on the bottom. So I've got this guy and I've got this guy right here. Even though this part ended up reducing away and there's no more x anymore, there's just a 3 after it reduces, I still have to make sure because of that part right there that x does not equal 0. So I have x can't equal 0 because of that. I also have this parenthesis right here or right here. So what I do with that is I just figure out what x would make it be a 0. I just solve it real fast. You're going to get x is a half. So my other restriction on this problem is that x can't equal 1 over 2. Those are the numbers that would make you divide by 0. On the third problem, I look and I can't really tell what x is to plug in here, so it's easier to do with your factored parts. There are 2 restrictions. Even though it canceled, I'm going to say that x can't equal -4, because x plus 4, if I plug in a -4, I'd get 0. X also cannot equal a -7. When you do these problems, you go by the denominator even if it cancels out. So this guy I still had to worry about. You don't worry about the top of the fraction. 0 on the top, not a big deal. 0 on the bottom is a big deal. So you give those restrictions.